Hey everyone, good to see you. This is Crafty Tuesday and I'm Christy Hickey, your host. I've been experimenting with different types of Mod Podge, basically because I've not done anything with Mod Podge in years, and I was surprised to see how many different types of Mod Podge there is on the market now. So some of it may be old news to a lot of you, and it might be new news to a lot of you. Last week we did a plastic bowl with the napkins and paper on the outside. Both prints were put on top of the bowl on the outside. One print was facing the inside of the bowl. It was a peacock napkin, and the other I cut to fit and be seen print on the outside of the bowl. And I used this Mod Podge that is dishwasher safe. And this now has 4 coats of Mod Podge on it. It has a nice shine. It's laid down on the paper very nicely. There were some edges where the paper had gone over the edge of the bowl. So what I did is I took a razor knife and just when the paper was dry, I ran the razor around and it made a really nice cut. And that's the trick. Use a brand new razor and wait for your paper to dry. It'll become stiff and you can cut it very easily. I've not put this in the dishwasher yet, so that's still part of the experiment to see how well. And I hope it lasts through the dishwasher, because if not, I'm really going to be disappointed. We've got a couple of people joining in. Hey Betty, hey Sherry. Good to see you and all the other ones out there in Facebook land. Like I said, I've become a little attached to this bowl. There is one thing that I would do differently if I did this again, and that would be to, after I put the napkin on, I would find some type of white paper and put on the napkin on the outside, because I can see it doesn't bother me because it's kind of uniform all the way around the bowl. Something's just popped up on my screen. Let's see if I can get rid of it. Good grief. This is crazy. I keep getting a sign, a little pop-up. Okay, maybe it won't come back. I can see the strips that I cut for the paper, and like I said, let's see if I can put this up here close enough to the camera so you can see what I'm talking about. It doesn't show up on camera very well, but looking at it in person, you can see each individual slice of paper, the seam, and it doesn't look bad because it's uniform all the way around. But I would put white or maybe a coordinating color on top of the napkin, and then put the printed paper on top of that so you wouldn't have these seams showing. But that's an update on this, and when I put it through the dishwasher, I'll let you know what happened and I'll show it to you. Okay. And this craft that I'm showing you, both of these came from Better Homes and Gardens website. This is what we used for the plastic dish. Okay. Now, this one, this Mod Podge says it is made for outdoors. Well, I know that you can get polyurethane, polyacrylic urethane for outdoors, but it's quite expensive. This jar here is 8 ounces and it was $9. I had a 40% discount, so with tax it cost me about $5. And this little 8-ounce jar will go a very long way. It says store at room temperature, apply with a brush or sponge, close the container after each use, clean up with soap and water. Glue, you can use it as a glue or a sealer. You can apply it to the surface, then position the paper or fabric, smooth out the air bubbles. As a sealer, you can apply several thin coats. So it says let dry 72 hours before placing it outside. And they recommend reapplying every few months for added protection. So depending on the weather you have would depend on whether or not it would need to be reapplied. But this is what I've come up with. And if you're not an artist, you say you're not an artist, which I don't believe. I believe everybody has a little bit of artist in them. This is a really great way to do some stepping stones without painting the design. I was in Joann's and I had seen the stepping stone idea, but I wasn't really planning on doing anything with it for a while. But I ran across this fabric and I fell in love with it. And you used to be able to get round stepping stones. Well, you can make your own, of course, out of plaster of Paris, or they do have a concrete mix that you can use. Well, I didn't want to go through that of making it. I wanted something that I could do quickly for class. And I came across this print and I fell in love with it. It was on the clearance, and this print comes in several different colors. This is a half a yard. No, this is a yard of fabric, and it's 54 inches wide. So you get a lot. I think I only paid like $6 for this fabric. Okay. And what I paid attention to is how many stepping stones can I get out of it. And I was able to determine that I can get 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I've already cut one out. I thought, oh, this would be perfect. Perfect. And that was when I was thinking this could be the square, this could be the circle. Well, I couldn't find circular stepping stones at any of the stores I was at or that are here locally. So I went with the square. And what I'm going to do is I've cut one of these out already, and I've got half of it done over there, but I wanted to show you from the beginning how this works. And these 12-inch stepping stones, I picked this up at Lowe's. They're $1.58. Okay. They say they're 12, but they're really 11 and a half. And what I did is I took some cardstock, or you could take some paper, and I made a pattern for the top. Okay, I'm not going to go over the little edges. I'm just going to put it right on the very top part. And this is my pattern. Very simple. Now this concrete does have some rough edges, and I took some very coarse sandpaper, and not real hard. I just lightly dusted the top of it, the sides, and the edges, and now it is very smooth. It has a really nice feel to it. So that right there is all ready and prepped. Okay. Hey, Barbara. Good to see you, girl. So this is ready. This is prepped. So I'm going to set it out of the way. And these come in different colors. They had a terracotta one, which might go really well with the reds in here. But I didn't get it because I didn't have a piece of this fabric, and I thought, I'm going to paint this anyway. So what I would recommend at this point, if you were going to paint the edges, go ahead and do that. Set it aside so it can be drying. And with your craft paints, you know, it doesn't take very long for those to dry. In fact, you can use a blow dryer to help it along. So now we're ready to cut out our fabric. And with this being our pattern, what I'm going to have to do is place this, that has a manufacturer's crease down the middle. This is outdoor fabric also. I think once it gets wet with a Mod Podge, it'll lay flat. So I'm going to use this one. So what I'm going to do here with this pattern is I'm going to place it where hopefully I can get the most benefit out of the pattern and make it look even on each side so it doesn't look lopsided. And take you some Scotch tape. I started to use sewing pins, and with this being cardstock, it was really difficult to push the pin through. So I thought, what am I going to do now? Let's use tape, and it'll be okay if I cut through the tape. So I'm going to tape down all sides, just enough to tack it in place. Hey, Esther. Good to see you too. Hopefully, we will get through a video without a lightning storm. We've had some really ferocious lightning storms here lately. This is so easy, and it's going to be so pretty that, you know, if you wanted to just put some color out in your flower beds, because sometimes during the seasons, especially here, it gets so hot, and if the flowers that you have out in your yard aren't summer flowers, you don't have summer flowers. It's just too hot for them. So this is a good way to get some color in your flower beds, along your walkways, and especially during winter time. You know, okay, so the pattern is in place, and hey, Roseanne, Good to see you too. Well, we're going to have a MajicMixx party going on here. So I want to be kind of careful where I cut print on this fabric because I don't like wasting anything. And sometimes it's fun. I don't think these scissors are the ones I need to use. Yeah, these are the good ones. Sometimes it's fun just to cut out some flowers and different designs and put them on something. And this decoupage really works outside. That is going to be awesome because that would open up a whole new world for you to be able to do different things. I mean, can you imagine you could do old tabletops? You could cover some chairs, flower pots. These aren't really sewing fabric scissors. They, I think the fabric's going to end up being a little bit bigger than this pattern because they don't have the form to lay on the table and cut. Let's see. I'm trying to remember the other colors that this pattern came in. It's really pretty. Might have been in peach tones. You know, these scissors aren't the best either. Okay, one more to cut. We'll be done with this. Hope everybody's doing well today. Hope you're staying cool. And see, I'm cutting right through the tape and it's working out perfectly. It's keeping it in place. And I would recommend that you get some fabric scissors for this. I'm going to have to take the razor and trim it. There. Okay. Make a nice clean line on it. So this will be a good example. If you have a pair of scissors that aren't the best too, this is what you can do. I'm just going to put this pattern in place. Push down on it. See, it's kind of jagged. Get my Alpha knife out here. And we're going to do fresh, clean razor. And I'll snap it away from my face. So I have a good, clean, sharp edge on this. And this table, I've got a lot of stuff on top of it, so I'm not concerned about cutting this where I am. It's very well protected. It's got a piece of wood, plastic, pad, you name it, it's very well protected. Okay. A little bit more cutting here. I'm curious as to see how our pattern, what kind of design we have here. Oh, that's pretty. That's really pretty. Here's the other one. see. Thank you. Hey, Rose. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Okay, so we've cut the fabric out, and these stepping stones are going to go into an area in my flower garden that's mulched. It's brown mulch. And so what I've elected to do is to keep, I really don't want the stone to show. So to help camouflage that, I'm going to paint the edges brown. And I've done one already that's sitting over here drying. I'm going to bring it over here. And yes, these things are heavy. They are kind of heavy. If you're going to do a lot of them, I would suggest bringing some help. Here's the one that I trimmed out in brown. Let's scroll down here and see what's going on. Oh, yes, it sure would. Be a beautiful quilt. I'm going to get this up off the table. Like that. Okay. And we are ready for our Mod Podge. It's the green label. Make sure it says outdoor use. And it says that it gets hard, so don't shake your Mod Podge, just roll it around on the table a little bit so it can get mixed. And I'm going to use a sponge to apply it. Move this out of the way. It's starting to cloud up now. We might end up getting an afternoon thunder shower. I hope it waits a little while. Oh, one thing I've learned about this Mod Podge, and I don't have it right now, is a damp cloth. So you can wipe your fingers off. This stuff is stickier than contact cement or Elmer's glue. And it's thick too. It is not wanting to come out. Look at that. All right, it needs a little bit of help. Let's see, what can I use here? Here we go. Use this. In fact, I think what I'll do is just pour it straight on here. Look how thick that is. My goodness. I wonder if it tells me what it's made of. No, it does not say what the ingredients are. Okay. Well, we're going to use this as a glue first. So I need to spread it all the way around. I'm going to go ahead and put it on the edges just so it'll look uniform. It doesn't have a bad odor. In fact, I can barely smell it. Okay, get this kind of even here. All right, that's for our glue part. And see, I'm going to go with this one. I'll put it in place. And yes, the fabric is fraying a little bit, but I'm not too concerned about it because I feel like when I put the Mod Podge on top of it, I can put it back together. And if it's really bad, I'll just take the scissors and cut it. But I had trimmed it up pretty good after cutting it. But that's the personality of this fabric, I guess, is to fray. It's a pretty good quality of fabric too. I've got a little smoother here. I'm going to take and get all the bubbles out. And I can see the Mod Podge from the bottom coming through. That's good. All right, now we're going to put a coat on top. It's going to be a pretty stepping stone. And goodness gracious, with all this selection of fabric out there, you could have a lot of fun doing these. You could even sell them, give them as gifts. Do some for yourself. Make cute little housewarming presents. Okay, I'm gonna even this out now. So I did put it on here pretty thick. Thin coats, several thin coats are a lot better than one thick coat, okay? I know I get impatient. Like, I want to get this where it'll be finished. I want to see what it looks like when it's finished. Put a heavy coat, but don't do that. You'll be a lot happier being patient. Now, this does not say that it is matte, satin, or gloss, okay? So it's going to be quite interesting to see how this dries. And if it's shiny, what I'll end up doing is all the way around probably. But then again, it's going to be on the ground outside with mulch around it. It might not even matter. And our home is yellow. It's a very pastel yellow, so I think this will be really cute. And the walkway coming up to the front door. The front door is red. It's a kind of an orangey red. Sign of hospitality. Did y'all know that? A red door means welcome. Okay, so now we have to let it dry. This is where the patience comes in. I could put a coat of brown on this one as well. And I only got 2 stepping stones. Let's see, Stephanie has joined us. Hey, Stephanie. Oh, hi, Pepper. Thanks for watching. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We'll see how it dries out and go from there. I kind of wish I had picked up a total of 6 stepping stones, but I can go back another day and get them. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in and watching. I'm going to paint this one brown, set it aside to dry, and then later this afternoon, adhere the fabric to this one. And I'll post pictures probably tomorrow on MajicMixx after the Mod Podge has dried of the finished product. And I hope this gives you some ideas of what you can do. Thanks for tuning in. Hugs, everybody. And I will see you Thursday for fluid art. And I've got some ideas for that too. And if you want to see something, let me know and we'll give it a try. Well, Cynthia's joined us. Sharok. Wonderful. Thanks, everybody. Well, thanks, Rose. It'd be a good little craft to do with kids of all ages, right? Young and young at heart. How many from one small jar? Well, let's see. I didn't even use half of what was in here. Let's see, it was about here, and I'm right here. So it used like a ½ inch of Mod Podge. I would think you could get 3 to 4 stepping stones out of an 8-ounce, depending on how thick you did. And I might put another coat on this after it dries, depending on how it lays out. There was something that fell into it. So, yeah, I would think 3 to 4. Love you all. Thanks so much, and I'll see you Thursday at 1. Y'all have a great day. Get out and have some fun. Bye-bye.